Women of Reddit, what is your worst nice guy experience? Met a guy in high school who was really nice. We would talk and hang out at lunch. One day, he called my house at 2 AM repeatedly until I answered and told him it's too late to talk. After about the third time, he called again and my sister, my guardian at the time, answered and told him to stop calling. He called her a witch and he stopped calling. The next day at school, I avoided him and he followed me around. I made sure to be around someone at all times and he would harass another guy and ask, why are you trying to steal my girl? Then when I was sitting at my desk, he sat on the ground by my feet and kept trying to slide his hands up under my clothes. After about a week of this, he finally left me alone. I think if some weirdo was sitting on the ground trying to touch me like that, I would be like, whoops, I was just swinging my feet like a normal, innocent person and I just happened to accidentally kick him right in the face. Oopsie daisy. A guy friend in junior high. We had several classes and sat next to each other. We were platonic loyal friends for 2 years before he got weird. He was hilarious. We could talk about anything. His house had a pool, so during warm weather, a bunch of us would swim at his house after school. One day he invites me over to swim after school. When I get there, no one else is there, which was weird. He was splashing me, sort of aggressively flirting, dunking me, so I get out of the pool and he pins me down to kiss me. So I play it off as him just joking around, and I leave. I give him the cold shoulder after that, and he was ticked off. 2 weeks later, at a different friend's house, he and I are both there for a swim birthday party. He and another guy give me a simultaneous front and back seesaw, which is like a horrible double wedgie in the pool. My swimsuit cut me so badly, I bled. I hate you, Pat. When I was 17, one of my most favorite people in the world passed away very unexpectedly. After the funeral, we had a wake at the pub, then family came back to our house to kick on. My cousin brought his girlfriend, who we knew and liked, and another friend who we had never met before. I had spent the day crying constantly, and I'm not a pretty crier, and at some point, my cousin's girlfriend came up to me, giggling, and said, "Our friend really likes you." I said I wasn't interested, and after the usual comment of, "Oh, but he's so lovely," and, "but he really likes you," she went away. After a half hour, she came back and said, "He's outside crying because you rejected him. He really wants you to go out there and cheer him up." I got my uncle to go out there and tell him to bugger off. At a wake? Holy moly, both of them needed to learn manners. I'm sorry, but does anyone else think it's weird to bring a guest to a funeral? It was really weird. Like I said, we had never met this guy. I didn't really think about it at the time, because I was just focused on getting through the day, but maybe he just wanted to support my cousin. I've had a bunch of nice guy friends who stopped talking to me after I made it clear I wasn't interested in dating them. But the worst was one guy who was legitimately my friend for 2 years and seemed to not mind the fact that I wasn't attracted to him and claimed he wasn't attracted to me either. Things pretty much ended with him calling me a tramp, telling all our mutual friends that I had played him, and shutting me out. Edit. There was also the nice guy I was friends with for a year who pinned my arms together and forcibly kissed me until I wriggled away free. Then he didn't understand why I didn't talk to him after that. Can't forget about that gem. I just don't understand these dudes. They'd be fine if they just stopped doing literally nothing, except picking your nose would be an improvement. I don't get it. Honestly, picking their nose instead would be an improvement. I was 16 and quite lonely, so I posted something on Tumblr so people would message me. I added a 26-year-old guy from New York. I'm from Switzerland, so time zones are different. In my mind, it was clear, and it seemed obvious, that I didn't want anything romantic, as we had a 10-year age difference, and I told him that I only wanted a friend. Well, after messaging for a while, he told me that he had to go to sleep, and he made me promise to continue to talk to him once he woke up. Weird, but whatever, I thought. A few hours later, he messaged me and talked about how he wanted me to be his girlfriend and so on. I told him again that I was only looking for a friend. He lost it. He began insulting me, telling me that I lead him on, even though I told him I was only looking for a friend. When we first talked, I ended up having to block him because I couldn't get him to calm down or to understand that I didn't want to talk to him anymore. I never made another post to meet new people online after that. I don't get how someone can even be that hung up on someone they've never met. I haven't had many, but I had a recent one. Met a guy at work briefly, later see that he friended me on Facebook and asks me out. I said I wasn't looking for a relationship, especially with all my work troubles. He says he's fine with friendship and says he understands me so much. Over the next few weeks he sends me messages about cats or the weather, stuff like that. Usually about 4 in a row, all about an hour apart. I don't really respond much. Then the other day I wake up to a text that says, "Hey." So I write, "Hey, what's up?" I didn't see that the first text was from the previous night. The next text I get back says something like, "Well, I was going to invite you to a party last night, but I see you were hanging out with other people. It's too bad. I guess I'll just delete your number. I could have loved you forever." I text back basically asking what the heck that was all about. He then says that he couldn't stand that I was with someone else and asks if I could please understand. I thought the messages were mean because I met him once, never hung out with him, and had good reasons for not starting anything, yet he still tried to make me feel bad when I'm already not doing well. What the frick, dude? What a jerk. Look, I don't know if love at first sight or whatever is a thing, but maybe don't obsess about someone you've met once. It's crazy scary and usually ends up upsetting someone. Once a dude I met in a university class gave me a $200 gift because he saw me post on a friend's Facebook wall about said gift. I had spoken to this guy once in my life and it was weird and made me so uncomfortable. Luckily I haven't had to deal with anything too terrible, but there was this guy last year that got on the westbound bus a little after I did, and then we got off at the same stop and waited together for the northbound bus. He was nice. He was friendly. He took an interest in the classes I was taking. I kinda viewed him as this kind of grandfatherly type of man, since he was in his 60s or 70s. I'm in my late 20s, for reference. One night, I had to go to the store that's right by that bus stop where we usually waited together. I got stuck behind someone who took a while in line, so I was rushing to make the bus, because even though it's a time point where they're supposed to stop and wait if they're ahead of schedule, some of the drivers don't. I'm running up, and the driver did actually wait, like he was supposed to. He was taking a smoke break out by the stop and said, "Don't worry, the old guy let me know you were coming." Awesome. Super nice, right? I go in. The old guy says pretty much the same thing. He let the driver know that I'd be out shortly, and the driver decided to take a smoke break while they waited. Then the old guy passed me a note. He told me to read it when I got home. It said, "Does that deserve a kiss someday?" I know that's not the worst thing in the world, but I started taking a later bus. It meant that I didn't get home until about 9. But I didn't have to deal with him anymore. Followed me back to my dorm from class and invited himself to get lunch with me when I tried to diverge into a dining hall so he wouldn't know where I lived. Constantly berated me for not making enough eye contact with him the whole time. I was desperately looking around hoping I'd spot someone I knew to save me. Would constantly message me and make up stupid pet names for me and plan dates that I turned down every time. I eventually had to threaten that I would go to the police to get him to leave me alone, and I had to let the professor of the class we were in together know so we wouldn't be assigned to any group projects together. Then another time I had a guy try to pull the "I have cancer" card to get me to pity date him. I'm sorry, but no. I also had a lot of male friends totally disappear on me when I got married. Friends I would routinely interact with on Facebook and such, and considered actual friends, just straight up unfriended me as soon as my relationship status changed to married. That one stung a bit, because I thought we were actually friends, but it turned out they were just waiting around for something that was never going to happen. When I got divorced, I lost about half of my guy friends. Apparently now that I'm single, I owed them something. Good riddance. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this. Don't forget to leave your stories in the comments below.